Hi, I'm Gabe.
And I'm Kat.
And we're the Ghouls Next Door.
Yep.
It's
us.
Yeah, welcome.
We were that before and we are that still.
Still are. This is episode 53, and it is our isolation series. So last week we explored some dangerous caves, trying to make a name for ourselves, and save our son Timmy from the cannibals.
Always.
But today, we're diving into the subject of underwater isolation. Like I did there?
Yeah, I did. It was a
pun.
Yeah.
So, Kat, you're terrified of the water.
I
So
am.
this episode will only help to fuel those nightmares.
Yeah, no, it's the worst thing in the entire world. I hate it. I hate it so much. To the point where it's like your trypophobia in the way that you can't not look.
Yeah.
But you want to die the entire time you're looking at it. Well, that's the ocean.
That's the ocean. Yeah. I'm from Florida. So I grew up with the ocean. I love it. I love swimming in it. I can be in there for days.
Well, you'll die. So
Not if you have water.
That sucks.
If you have good water.
No, it's all bad.
No.
It's all bad. Don't go in it. It's bad. If I didn't have to shower, I wouldn't.
That's crazy. Now you're just being crazy.
I just don't like water. I don't want it to touch me.
That's stupid. The shower isn't going to hurt you.
I understand the shower's not going to hurt me. I'm just saying I don't like water.
That's dumb, is what I'm saying. Water, I understand. I understand the ocean because it's full of creatures.
The ocean is the main thing. I just don't like being in water.
It's weird.
I don't want to drown.
I'm not going to say. You're not going to drown in the shower. This isn't Final Destination.
You don't know, man. That's all I'm saying.
I do know.
You don't, though. You say you know everything, Gabe? Is that what you're telling me right now?
I'm saying that you're not going to drown in the shower.
Well, yeah, not in the shower, but like in a pool.
Yeah.
Or like in the ocean.
Yeah,
yes,
those
100%.
Two you can be afraid of.
I'm not scared of showers. I will willingly get into a shower without fear. All I'm saying is...
I think what you're saying is
I don't
that
like
you
water.
smell.
No.
You're a big, smelly smell.
No, I just don't like water very much.
Okay, you need what? You are 75% water. Do you hate yourself?
That. No, I'm fine with that. I'm just saying. The ocean almost killed me multiple times, and I am done with it. We're not friends.
How did it almost kill you?
I was in it, and the waves happened. And the waves are unpredictable in their size.
Okay.
And I am a terrible swimmer. Yeah. I took lessons. I tried. I am very bad at swimming. Like, no matter how much, I just sink. I'm a dense human. Like, I don't look very big, but I will just, as soon as I'm in the water, it's like, oh, nope.
Now you're in the ground.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Like, waves for my entire life have always just tried to murder me. I don't really understand it. So, like, I went when I was little with my dad, and I would be, like, on a boogie board just chilling, and then a giant wave would come up, and I'd just be, like, pushed to the bottom of the ocean floor and dragged across seashells, so my entire body was cut up. And, like, it pulls you back in, pulls you out. You can't rise to the top, so you suffocate and you die, and it's awful.
Yeah, if you're not a good swimmer, that's gonna suck.
Yeah, I'm a really bad swimmer. I don't know why. I took lessons. I tried really hard. Even pools. Like, it's just like, I don't know if it's because my knees are tilted inward naturally or what, but like my legs and my arms just don't connect in their brain space. And they don't do the things I want them to do. Yeah. And if a wave goes over my head, that's it. I'm just dying now. No. And also, okay, let's start with, there's like a million reasons to be scared of the ocean. Like, million. It's logical. Yeah, you should not want to go in there. No. There are rip currents or whatever the heck they are, where they drag you out. And like, you have no control. You don't even know if like you're going to hit one of those. It's just suddenly like, oh, you're like way away from the shore now. Yeah. You could easily die now. Because guess what? You're in the ocean and there's stuff under there that you don't know about. You can't see it. It's always there. They're always down there. Yeah. When I was younger, I did get caught in the undertow. And I'm a good swimmer. But it's like where you're stuck, kind of like you can't find which way is up. That's what happened to Dory. Yeah, because it's just like hitting you wave after wave and you're like losing like your gravity, I guess. Or whatever. Yeah. Yep. And I was stuck in that and I almost drowned. But then I got up and then it was fine. That's not a story.
I found the ground and then I pushed myself up from the ground and was able to like pop back up. But then I just like kept swimming. I was like a little scared, but then I was like, oh, okay.
Nah.
I almost died, but I didn't.
Nah.
Yeah, I would spend hours in the ocean growing up. Like when we go to the beach, I was never out on the sand. I hate sand.
I hate
Gets
sand
everywhere.
too.
But I can stay in the ocean forever.
The following. You're walking down the beach. This happened to me. This is a story that I have. You're walking down the beach and you're just minding your own business. And you're looking down and you can kind of see what's up because like visuals and sunlight and whatever. You're not that deep. You take a step. The sand moves and there are jellyfish there now. And you almost step on that jellyfish and it almost electrocutes you or whatever it does and hurts you really bad. But you get away and then you don't trust what is underneath you ever again because if you think you can see, you can't see. It's the ocean. It's filled with creatures that will try to attack you and murder you and then you're dead now. And I don't want to be there, Gabe. It's Halloween for you.
Florida, there's Cocoa Beach, which was one of my favorites. And they always have like seasons of like where it's just rampant with one type of sea animal. So like one time we went during jellyfish season and the entire ocean is just full of jellyfish. Like you can't do it. And my friend was going in there and he was like a large person. And so he had me on his back and went like to like run in and then like slipped and then I fell into the water and like into a bunch of jellyfish, but they did not sting me. And I practically ran on top of water, a la Jesus, and found my way to the shore. But my favorite season was stingray season. So stingrays scare me because they hide under the sand. And if you step on them, they get upset and then that's when their tail comes up and it cuts you and electrifies you. So those I'm afraid of. And before, crocodile hunters, Steve Irwin, like even before that, I was afraid of stingrays. But during stingray season, they're really cute because they're like in all of the waves. Like you can see the waves come up and you'll see them and they wave at you. Like they like to say hi to people.
Cute.
Yeah.
Nah, that sounds so scary. It's like when you use the wave picture with the seaweed in it.
Yeah.
And it looks like Cthulhu monsters. And it's no. Why is that cute to you?
They were really sweet.
They can kill you with stings.
Yeah, but like out of defense, most animals can kill you. The ones above ground too.
All I'm saying is
they're still cute. Like snacks still cute.
Snack is not cute.
Snacks are cute.
Snacks are scary.
They're sweet babies.
I do not. Nah.
They're
not
so
even
cute.
water
You can
snakes.
give them little sweaters.
Water snakes are eels, and they're terrifying, and they do all the
No, there's
swimmy
actual
swims.
water snakes.
No, I'm saying both of them are gross, and I don't want them near me.
Yeah, I just really
Just
love
let you know.
the ocean. And I'll say this, diving into this topic has made me, this is like the only time I've ever missed Florida. And I like really want to like go to at least like our natural springs, which is where I grew up. We had a lot of natural springs and you can or our rivers were just like beautiful and crystalline and you can just float down them for hours. And there's like barely any fish, but there's some fish in there. Sometimes there's gators because it is Florida, but it was just like chill.
But okay, you're telling me that watching the movie 47 Feet Below made you wish you were in the ocean?
Yeah, well, just like this topic has made me miss the ocean.
Okay.
I do not feel the fear of isolation underwater. I can't relate to this. I mean, I get it. I do get it. Like, I'm not an idiot. Like, there are dangerous things down there. And I'm not, like, deep sea diving. But I would totally, like, take up scuba diving. If I trusted myself to, like, be able to retain all that information and sustain myself underwater. But I would love it. Because I would love to see things. Love to see the coral and all the fish and just look at them. Not touch them. Don't bring them anywhere. Finding Nemo was supposed to teach people things and it didn't.
Nope. It's just a bunch of dark and you can't see anything.
Not always.
Everything around you is a lie. You can't see anything. You don't know what's down there. We haven't explored half the ocean. It could just come up there and be like, all right, you're dead now. And I'm not trying to do that. I have life up here. It works just fine. It works not that great, but it's better than going places I shouldn't be going. That's how I feel.
But that's the whole world.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts. We tell you all the facts.
case y'all didn't know, I'm terrified of the ocean. I won't even go underwater in video games. And that's a real thing. It is
Yeah.
not rational. I don't know why. Like, literally just being in a space, fictional or not, where I cannot see every single detail that is around me terrifies me to no end.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wouldn't even sleep in a room without, like, my laptop screen playing something. I can't do it unless there's another person there. And I'm like, all right, well, if stuff goes bad, at least I got someone else to
either the
help
person
do.
or my television screen will protect me.
Yep. Well, no, because then I can see it. The light is on.
Okay, so you could see yourself being murdered or killed.
I
or
would
whatever.
rather know it's coming than not.
You wouldn't rather just be asleep and then it's over?
No.
You'd rather wake up, look at it in its face, and then the last thing you experience is just pure fear, as opposed to sweet slumber. I don't think you're thinking this through. I don't think the TV is going to protect you as much as you think.
All right, all I'm saying is I just need to be able to see what's around me. It's
Okay.
like a big thing. I have trust issues. I have to know all the ingredients of my food that was given to me or I wouldn't eat it. Like, it's a real thing. I need to know what is around me. I need to know of the threats so that I can prepare myself for them. And the ocean does not allow you to do that for the following reasons.
Yes.
Reason 1. So this is a list I made. Cats raised in Stanako in the ocean, backed up by science.
Excellent.
We do not know what's down there.
Yeah.
So little of the ocean has been explored. It is currently estimated that 86% of the species that exist on this earth have yet to be discovered. Though scientists have taken the time to map out 100% of the moon and Mars, they've only managed to explore a whopping between 5 and 10% of the ocean, according to the National Ocean Service. So you don't know what's down there. You can go down there just like the cave times, and then there's like dark elves down there, and they're gonna eat you because they can't see anything or whatever. It's like whatever bats do, or what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You go down there, they don't have eyes, or they have really creepy like blind underwater people eyes, and they eat you or they attack you with their fish teeth that exist. Fish have teeth that deep in the ocean.
Yeah.
And it's scary.
But it's like, you're not even going to be down that far. As
But
far
what if
as
they
those
come up?
scary things, they wouldn't, because it would hurt them to be in the sunlight if they exist down there. It would
just
hurt
saying.
them.
All I'm saying is you don't know what's down there. What if you're going in a space that like it's whatever season of a mystery animal we haven't discovered yet. And they're just like, guess what? You're dead now. I'm going to eat you and your family. Or I'm going to touch you and then you have a flesh-eating bacteria virus.
Those are real.
That is real. That's from the
ocean.
ocean, Gabe. Because you
can
went
get
in the ocean, your skin is gone. That's what happens.
This one, that is a thing.
So,
I agree.
number 2. It's really dark and you can't see what's around you. At 3,000 feet in some parts of the ocean, that's less than a tenth of the way down there. A tenth of the way.
Yeah.
It just keeps going. For comparison, out in space, there's always sunlight. But in the ocean, there's not. So about 70% of our planet is covered by oceans, which have an average depth of 12,500 feet, because light waves can only penetrate 330 feet of water. Everything below that is dark. It's just endless
Yeah,
darkness.
it's just darkness.
Just endless darkness.
Like in Finding Nemo, when they
that
go down
means-
to the dark.
Yep. So most of our planet's animals just are in forever dark.
And they're dinosaurs.
They said the Kraken was real. I read it. It exists. It's a dinosaur and it comes and eats people. It is filled with things that can kill us. Between sharks, other poisonous creatures, jellyfish, etc. It is also filled with bacteria that we're unfamiliar with scientifically. We
Yeah.
don't know what's down there.
We don't have
There's lots of
vaccines.
germs and whatever. So flesh-eating bacteria specifically has been a new fun thing where people are going into the water at the beach just being like, all right, I'm going to go have fun in the beach, which doesn't exist. It's not fun. It's awful. And they go in and then they come out and they have a flesh-eating virus bacteria on them. And then your skin's gone and maybe you die. Like, that happens. It's terrifying and awful. And why would anyone want to risk their lives to experience something like that?
Yeah, there's a film that we did not watch for this, but we probably will in the future, that features isopods that have been evolved and
Genetically modified?
In the bay, there's isopods that are essentially parasites from the ocean, but they're harmless to us now. But if they were gigantic, it's actually one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen in my life. And if those are what, like, if they were the size that they are in that film and were real and could, like, take your tongue and mess up your brain because they're parasites, then I'd probably never go in the ocean.
Yeah.
But they're not, that's not real.
Well, we actually did see when we were watching the Blue Planet movie or show that you said isn't scary.
It's not as good. It's beautiful.
So there was
educational
this whale that was getting eaten by zombie worms, which are worms that use acid to dig into your bones and then eat you alive. No, it was dead. It was dead. But dead still, whale. You like imagine if that was up here.
I don't.
There's a worm that buries into your skin through acid. And then eats your bones so that they collapse.
Nice.
You don't want that. Why would you want to experience that?
I don't. I'm just being antagonistic.
And then there's also just like, because we litter and like dump trash and toxic things into the ocean, there's just, it's riddled with bacteria that could cause us like general diseases like Legionnaires' disease, MRSA, hepatitis, pink eye. I can't pronounce this one, but it sounds bad. And it's just because, like, we dump stuff in there. So the lady went to Myrtle Beach and she stuck her foot in the water, thinking it's going to be a grand old time. And then she had the flesh-eating virus, which is called something. Necrotizing fasciitis.
Nice.
That thing's coming for you.
That's what you got in Myrtle Beach.
You think it's a fun time? It's not a fun time. It's trying to murder you.
Other times it is fun. Yeah, but also, like, our overfishing and our pollution is killing the Great Barrier Reef and other coral, which is an entire ecosystem. So that's a horror story in and of itself.
Yeah, we're doing horrible things, but then they're going to come back and seek vengeance.
Yeah. M. Night needs to make a movie about that. He talked about the trees killing us. Now he needs the ocean.
Yeah, no, I mean, tsunamis. Tsunamis are a thing.
Tsunamis are terrifying.
Yes.
That's not
That's like literally one of my biggest fears.
That is absolutely terrifying.
You can't predict it. You can't predict the ocean, and that's why it's scary.
Oh my God, you can just respect it. Respect what it is.
I respect it by not going there.
Okay, that's fine.
You're welcome, ocean. I will never come visit you.
I miss the ocean.
But yeah, there's like a million other reasons. I mean, I read countless long lists, but it's essentially, it's like, there's so much down there that we just don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
Between animals, between plane crashes, like there's, I think it said there were 30 million shipwrecks at the bottom of the ocean, which is just insane. It's a lightning magnet. It's filled with dead bodies because of the shipwrecks. It's 3 million. 3 million is significantly less than 30 million, but it's still a bunch.
It still is something, yes.
That's just like the ocean floor is lined with murdered ships. Oh, I just found the thing about the Kraken, which was scary. But essentially, the Kraken used skeletons as art.
What?
The Kraken used skeletons as art. So it says here, the legendary bus-sized squid that indiscriminately devours ships and creatures as if they were krill, turns out, according to the International Business Times, the Kraken of yore, yes, they're real, used to murder dinosaurs and arrange the skeletons in artistic patterns.
Aw.
So he would make art out of dead things.
That sounds nice.
Mm-hmm.
We do that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, people put, like, deer up on their wall. That's what he did. He had the equivalent of a bearskin rug.
Mm-hmm. So nice. Krakens are people, too.
Yeah.
We're there. But also don't go say hi, because that's bad.
Respect.
I don't know. I'm just scared of the ocean. It's just very real. I don't fully know why. I mean, I do.
You do.
But at the same time, I know that there's logic that could, like, make me maybe be a little less terrified. But I just, like, I don't think it's worth it. I'm not about it. I don't want to go on a boat. I don't need to be out there where I could sink. And then I'm, like, in a place where I'm sinking 48 meters below.
Yeah.
It's a hard no. There's no desire. I have no wanting for such things.
Yeah.
And also, I hate sand. So I don't want to be at the beach either. So I don't want to be in the ocean. I don't want to be at the beach. I'll stay home. It's fine. I like trees.
Okay.
But
there's monsters and trees, too. You talked about everything that's scary underneath the water. Well, I wanted to talk about 2 stories in which people were stranded in the water. One of which was that a film was made of it, but we're not going to talk about it really, the film, because the film's super boring. Because, I mean, being just stuck out in the water is inevitably going to be boring at some point. You're just dying for a long time.
Oh, yeah. No, it's the slow death. And it's like you can also just go insane.
Yeah.
Because of being isolated.
And
just because of the usual
dehydrated.
stuff.
Yeah. Classic things that we explored last time. But most people know of the film Open Water.
I had to turn it off halfway through. Not because I feel like it was just like, I was like, I cannot.
Yeah. It's not for everyone. It's also just for anyone who likes horror movies. It's honestly just super boring. Yeah.
I turned it off because I was scared though. So it's like, it just depends on like your level of uncomfortability with not being able to see what's underneath of you.
Yeah. Which is a big thing for them. But essentially Open Water is a true story about Tom and Eileen Lonergan, who disappeared on January 25th, 1998. So they were divers who had taken a trip to Australia's Great Barrier Reef. In 1998, it was probably still vibrant. It's probably still worth looking at. Right now, it's pretty dead and sad. But essentially, what had happened was they were like on a boat. They were going to do like exploring, and the boat left them. They were out there and they were left, which is absolutely crazy. In the movie, I think it was like I think it was similar to, it's been a long time since I watched it. So listener, if you know better than me, please let me know. But I was thinking it's similar to Frozen, where they shouldn't have been there, like to some degree. And the same thing with like 47 meters down, like those girls really, like if those people didn't care, they could have left them.
Oh, 100. Like, I'm shocked that they didn't leave them.
It's kind of nice. But like, so essentially this couple just wasn't accounted for. I think it would, and I think in the film, it's just kind of like bad luck. Like like two people are counted thinking that it's that couple and it's not. And that's kind of like the weirdness. But, so they were lost out at sea and have never been found. Their items have been found. So their air tanks, the woman's, Eileen's, what is it?
Scuba suit?
Yeah, like her scuba suit was found with tears in it and barnacles attached to it. Had washed up on shore eventually. And then like their tanks and stuff had washed up on shore eventually. But they had never been found. Like their bodies, nothing.
Well, they were eaten.
Probably.
Likely.
Yeah, like another thing that was found was what is called a dive slate. Okay. So in order to communicate like underwater, generally they have dive slates. And so like they can usually, like it can retain a message in water.
Okay.
And so they found one, or like the people found one, a fisherman did, that said, "Please help us or we will die." And that was on January 26th. That's the date that they put. January 26th, 1998, in a time of 8 a.m.
Jeez.
And then it said that. So it indicates that they were alive until the next day at least.
Yeah.
And that they were not left behind by choice. Yeah. And no one was there to help them, and they did die.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, that's what you do.
Yeah.
Why? Why would you want to go scuba diving?
But here's the thing. It's just like, because that's crazy. Like the odds of you being left behind is crazy. Like if you take the proper precautions, right? Like if you're not like the people in our last episode who are going like down into caves and not telling people where they are properly. If you're not 127 hours guy who neglected to tell anyone and went by himself, like you just don't do that. You take those kinds of precautions.
Well, it sounds like they did, but then they were left anyway.
Well, here's the thing. One, it was 1998.
Yeah, that's true.
Two, some people believe that it might have been a suicide pact. So, although there's evidence to the contrary, obviously, with that note, but apparently they had both written and had expressed that they were very unhappy with their lives and each other. And people thought that it might be a suicide pact or murder-suicide kind of thing that Tom possibly did.
Huh.
Yeah, it's
I
weird.
don't know. That's weird.
Yeah. Other people
Stressful.
think that they just were eaten by sharks, tiger sharks specifically. This man, Ben Kropp, says that the notoriously dangerous sharks probably watched the couple and approached slowly after a few hours, eventually taking a bite. He also believed the Lonergans had not lasted more than 48 hours because of this, because of where they were. Like,
It was just tiger shark territory.
yeah, like odds are they're not going to be out there for a long time. So they probably didn't succumb to like dehydration
Yeah.
and insanity because they weren't protected. They were literally just floating in the water,
Yeah.
like no raft. And it's not like you can swim forever.
Yeah, no.
So there's no way they were like that long. There were rumors or almost like an urban legend that the captain believed that the Lonergans had stowed away on his ship or hitched a ride on his ship at some point, like after the event. But again, that's kind of discredited.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then also, what I thought was interesting was that the owner of the dive company was actually charged with manslaughter, but then was acquitted. Like
Because they left them, right? That's kind of the thing. So they're like charging them with their death, essentially.
Yeah. So like the defense used the diary entries to question the intention of the couple, and essentially, because some people believe there's conspiracies all over this. Some people believe they faked their deaths. That they were just so unhappy with their life that they had faked their deaths. But that's like craziness.
Yeah, I just feel like
How do you
also,
coordinate that?
How do you pull that off? Like after that, like 1998, it wasn't that long ago.
Yeah. I think that one of the bigger problems was that the case itself was focused on the owner of the company and not like the fact that like there had to be more. It's like not one person's fault, you know?
Yeah.
And so like the jury felt that way. Like
Yeah.
it's not this guy's fault. It's like the people who were running the excursion, like the people who
Oh
were
yeah,
driving.
why would
like,
you blame the owner? It's like he's just doing a business.
Yeah.
I feel like, yeah, you would definitely want to blame the person who left without them.
Yeah. I think it's like
If you're
maybe
going to
your
blame
policy,
somebody.
yeah, maybe like your policy and stuff. And essentially that like it is negligence, you know, and that they didn't take the right precautions and should have been more aware. Like letting someone die like that is crazy. But yeah, some people believe that they fake their own deaths.
Huh.
Yeah.
I would not want to go that way. I feel like that's just a really elaborate way to do
it. What was weird though, like it's so many things had to go wrong or had to be weird, right? So like they were on this boat and no one, like not even the other passengers, raised concerns that the Lonergans weren't there, even though that their bags were still on the boat.
Yeah.
After
really
they left.
weird.
Like it just seems really weird. Like that bag would still be unclaimed and stuff. Like I guess if maybe someone just forgot it, left it behind or whatever.
Or yeah, like that they wouldn't notice pretty quickly afterwards.
Yeah.
And like not go back looking for them.
Well, it wasn't until like 48 hours because he saw that Tom's wallet was in there and like called like the hostel that they were supposedly staying at. And the hostel was like, no, these people never came back. And then the owner called the police.
That's crazy.
So it like even if they were still out there, they wouldn't have stood a chance.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
You should at least like do roll call.
Yeah, right? Like,
Like, hey, these are the people who were on my boat. There were a certain number of them. Now we have two less.
yeah.
What's that about?
I think, and
That's just
I
crazy.
feel like I remember in the movie, like there being a roll call or something, and there being another couple, and then people just being like, "Oh, there they are," and it wasn't. I feel like I remember that. There's another fault was their own because they were experienced divers who essentially insisted that they were to go out on their own for their last dive, which is like, just don't. Why?
Just don't do that.
Why are you doing this? I think it's just like be weary of where you're going. And yeah, so they suffer them. Another story though that I thought was a little more interesting than the couple itself was a notorious story of an 11-year-old girl who was found at sea.
That is crazy.
Yeah, she was stranded at sea, literally just like on a little float, little corkboard float.
That's wild. From where? From where?
So let me tell you. So 11-year-old Terry Jo DePeralt was her name.
That's a crazy name.
She spent 84 hours alone at sea until she was rescued by happenstance. So
Was she like burnt?
yes. Yes, she had severe burns. So essentially what happened was her and her family, so her mom, her dad, and her brother, and I think she has a sister, were on a vacation. They like hired a captain who he and his wife were captaining the ship, I guess. I don't know what it would be called, driving the ship, to the Bahamas. They had they had a wonderful vacation. They were having a really grand old time.
Yeah.
The father was even like seen like on the Bahamas or like at the beach, and he had talked to someone like, "Oh man, this is such a great vacation. We're going to be back here before Christmas. I know it." And then it did not work that way. Essentially what had happened was that the captain had a very turd past. He had intentions to murder his wife and collect on the insurance policy.
Okay.
So he was going to throw her overboard and, collect insurance. Okay. And it was already shady enough because he'd already lost a wife to not like a ship. It was actually a car accident, but it was like miraculous that he survived and she didn't kind of thing. So he was already shady, but they wouldn't know that. It's just his family out there. Well, it's... According to Terry, her dad, or I guess like what people surmise what happened, was that her dad had seen the captain murdering his wife.
Okay.
And so then the captain murdered the dad.
Okay.
And then decided to murder everyone because they were witnesses.
Yeah.
So everyone who was awake, and Terry was still asleep.
Okay.
And at one point she like crawled up to the top, and the guy was just like, go back down, whatever, and she like hid under her bunk or her like bed for hours, and then she actually didn't leave her spot until she saw water was in the boat, like in her bed, and like then she went up to the top, and he had essentially given her this rope and was like, hold on to this rope, I have to go get something, the captain guy. And she had already like passed her mom and brother who were like drenched in blood. And so he was like, hold this, and like went down. And the theory is that he was going to kill her too. Like, even though she didn't really know what was happening, he figured like there's a slim chance that she might survive this. Yeah. Like, so I have to kill her. But instead of holding on to that rope, she like let it go. And the rope was connected to like the buoy, like the like ship thing. Okay. Like the rescue ship, or not rescue ship. The extra ship or whatever. So she like let it go, and so then the captain freaked out and like jumped onto it and ended up floating away from her. And so as the ship is like falling, she finds like this cork board, I think they said, like buoy boat, hopped on that and just like floated for 84 hours. She was like, in the night, the temperatures would have been freezing, and then in the day she would have been burnt to a crisp. And when they found her, it was first this like helicopter went by and they didn't see her, but she saw them and like had this vague part of hope, and then it didn't turn out that way. But she was found. Wild. Mm-hmm, she was found, and this is in 1961. So long time ago. Yeah, she was found by a boat. Captain Theo was the boat, and the second officer of this freighter, Nicholas Spakadakis, is his name. He saw her, and he took like this notorious picture. It's like this picture of like the little girl, and there's like just water around her. But she was out at sea for so long, and she had begun to hallucinate herself. She thought at one point that she saw an island and like was like paddling towards it, and then it just vanished. Oh no. And then she had How old was she? She was 11.
Oh my gosh.
She had like a minor heart attack because at one point she's like floating there and she sees these figures in the water and was just like, that's it. I'm done because there's sharks. And it turned out to be porpoises. So they were friendly animals that were there for her. But when they found her, she had a fever of 105. And her skin was entirely burnt. And she was an orphan. Her whole family was dead.
Oh my god.
But the captain had been found before her on his little boat. And essentially just said, like, he tried to save them and then they drowned. And then she was found days later. And then when he found out that she was found, he killed himself.
Okay.
Instead of getting, like, caught.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like, her story came out and she, like, told the truth. But it took a long time.
Yeah,
Like,
no, I mean, she's very young, and that had to be unbelievably traumatizing.
Yeah, she lost her entire family. And it was supposed to be this, like, fun vacation. And it was up until that point.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, it's wild.
Yeah.
That's insane. And
So-
it's just like, I feel like it's not insane because that happens. Like, that's stuff that happens in the world.
Yeah.
But it's very upsetting, where it's like, I'm not gonna,
Yeah.
my life would be nice and boring. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, it's like, yeah, underneath the water is super terrifying.
But also people.
But yeah, also people. And it's like, also if just like you end up somehow out there, right? It's like, we're not designed for that. Like you can't drink the water. You'll go insane. The salt water will dehydrate you faster and you will go insane.
Yeah.
And then you'll die quick. Or you'll get eaten by the sharks. Or you just like are burned. You're like 3rd degree burned from the sun. Or
Yeah,
you
it's
freeze
just like
to
very
death at
real
night.
things to be scared of.
Yeah. It's all of the
Which is
elements
hard
in
for
one
people
place.
because it's just like, it is 100% plausible that this could happen exactly the way that it is being shown to you.
Yeah.
Sharks can definitely eat you.
Yeah.
You will definitely be dehydrated and maybe hallucinate and go insane.
Films. Yeah, films. Yeah, films. We watched some films. Now let's talk about those films. And all that spooky stuff. And all that spooky stuff.
We're going to talk about film.
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 Uno film.
Un film.
Yes. We watched a film. It was called 47 Meters Below.
No. 47 meters down.
Whatever.
You say
know
that
what I'm
every
saying.
time.
Did I say it wrong every time?
Yeah, every time
Oh,
I did
no.
it. It's 47 meters down, and it was from 2017. A friend of ours recommended it, so we watched it. And it is about two sisters vacationing in Mexico are trapped in a shark cage at the bottom of the ocean. With less than an hour of oxygen left and great white sharks circling nearby, they must fight to survive. And it's directed by Johannes Roberts.
Yeah, I thought it was great. It was absolutely terrifying. I was very stressed the entire time. The actresses were very good.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it just seemed like something that would definitely happen with like two people who were just not doing stuff the right way.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we gotta be cool. We're gonna go do this edgy thing. We're young.
Yeah, like, and it was, I mean, they gave a good reason behind it in that, like, you know, one is going through a breakup or a divorce, possibly a separation. And so she was already kind of down. And so this is going down there is an opportunity for her to show how cool she is and how she is not mourning the loss of this situation, right? And like your hip young sisters, like, come on, big sis, like, loosen up.
Yeah.
Come on, Mandy Moore, do it. and it was just like my problem, and I get why in the film it had to be this way, but that they like, at least Mandy Moore's character had never scuba dived. And I just think that's like on so many levels, so like dangerous. There's no way. Like, that's so irresponsible as just as like a normal person, like, to do that. Like, that would be like if you were going spelunking and you're going cave diving or whatever, and you don't even know what a carabiner is. And you're just like, I'll just figure it. Like, you don't have any upper arm strength. What are you doing? Don't go in there. But it's worse underwater because you're relying on the knowledge of, like, controlling the air pressure and knowing what like limits are. Like you cannot function under there. Like without things working properly. So if you have no understanding of how these things work, you should not be in there. So I think like for that, a lot of the fault is on the scuba divers.
Well, yeah, no, 100%. It's like the people who think that it's not a big deal and they go. And I mean, she did think it was a big deal, but she was like.
She still went.
She still went and she was trying to like be cool.
Yeah.
And it's like, there's no reason.
Those boys should not
being cool
have
is not
let her.
worth your death. Like,
yeah.
At all.
And I, for the purpose of the film, I get it because it was good to, like, because in her learning, you're also teaching the audience.
Yeah.
Right? It's because it's like, oh, here's the dangers. And it's like, okay, telling her that and having her hyperventilate because she's like so freaked out by all of that should have been reason enough to be like, let's go to like the beach area where it's safe and do some like practice dives at the very least, or like get a more experienced team. Like it was weird. And like it being like Mexico and stuff sucks too, because it's just like, oh, we just like grab random tourists and take advantage of them and put them underwater.
Yeah,
with sharks.
It was terrifying.
And their cage was not
why?
well equipped for that. Like one shark hit and it was already breaking.
Yeah, no, it was not a good cage. It was not a good time. And it was also, it's like, it was very realistic to me, though, because of the fact that they didn't know what they were doing. Because I just feel like people generally wouldn't. Like, even if you did, you're still at a disadvantage. But, like, that makes it just so much more scary.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely, if anything, maybe helps in the sense that, like, maybe people will realize, hey, this is a bad thing. Don't do that. If you don't know what you're doing, like, get the proper training, go to the classes, do it right, so then at least you have more of a chance.
Yeah.
Like maybe it scared people a little bit. To be like, hey, maybe if I'm totally inexperienced and have no idea what I'm doing, I shouldn't go shark diving.
Don't do it. Yeah, I would say like, and there's a lot that was kind of taken liberties with. So like 47 meters down, which is 154 feet for perspective.
Cool.
For us Americans out there, it would, experts say that they technically would only have had 15 minutes of air.
Wow.
And we watched an entire movie of them going up and down with no air.
It seemed like they weren't down there for a long time, though, that it was all happening very fast. It was just like stretched out for us.
Yeah, it did. But I do think it was pretty long because they get up and down and she like, although they do say like you only have like 20 minutes left for your air, and that was like 45 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
So I just chalk that up to movie time.
Yeah, it's just like longer. It's forever.
What I was missing because we didn't watch Open Water was that Open Water was all real. There's no CG. Like the sharks that are in there are real in Open Water. They were just like fed like away from the actors and properly, and they were like trained. Kat's face is agape. Her
You're
mouth is
telling me
agape.
right now that these actors and actresses got in there with real sharks. That's insane. That is terrifying. Why? Why would you even film that film? I'd be like, nah, no, I'm gonna go be poor. I'm gonna not be an actor anymore. This is a nope. This is a nope. I'm going home to boring times. See you.
Yeah.
Do not put me in water with sharks.
That's crazy. But because it's like, so essentially it's like two sisters and they're in the shark tank and like they're in there for like, or not tank, it's shark cage, for like 5 minutes. And then they have one run in with a shark and then the sister freaks out and then they're trying to bring him up. And it's like, how inexperienced is this crew that their equipment just isn't up to date that it would break with two incredibly thin white women in there?
Yeah, they sent the guys down and they were fine too, which was crazy.
Yeah.
And then like they were so like the one scene, oh my god, where she goes to like find the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just see so much nothingness, and then suddenly there's a shark. Because
Yeah,
you can't
oh my God.
see what is around you, Gabe. When you're down there, you can't see anything because your eyes are not made to be down there. And
yes.
it's my literal nightmare.
Yeah, no, that part is really
Because they're always
scary.
there. You know they're there. They're always there. Everything in the ocean is always there.
Yeah.
You just can't see it. And it could come for you at any time. It's terrifying.
Yeah. I think that definitely is the scariest part was they're trapped down there and someone was supposed to come down to get them and they see a flashlight. And so they just think he just can't see where they are. He can't tell. So the one who has enough air swims out to them. But there are sharks around. And so she like swims and she gets to this part where there's a drop off. So it's just depth and it's just darkness and all she can see is the light in the distance. So she makes a swim for it and swims all the way to get to the light. But then she's like, she has a flashlight and she's like swimming around and she can't tell which direction she came from.
Yeah.
And that was scary. And then they have like comm systems, but when you're far away, you can't communicate. So it's just like she's just going to wander around aimlessly with
the sharks.
air and with the sharks.
And she doesn't know where the drop off ends because she can't see and she doesn't know where she came from anymore. And like, what if something's just like right there because it eats that guy?
Yeah. And then she does find the guy and he gets eaten by a shark.
Because he's trying to protect her.
Yeah.
Who should have stayed in the cage.
Yeah. The sister gets eaten by a shark. It's great. In that it was good. It was suspenseful and stressful because they don't have air.
I think, again, the biggest thing is, like, he kept saying stay in the cage, and they just actively did not stay in the cage.
Yeah.
I feel like that was, like, a big part of the problem. It definitely just showed, like, how inexperienced that they were. Because I feel like he maybe would have gotten to them.
Yeah.
If they just stayed in the cage. Yeah. But because she went out there and looked for him, then, like, he got distracted while he was hiding from the shark, and then got eaten.
He had to come out, to tell her. And it's, like, another thing, what I thought was interesting was it had a similar ending to The Descent, or the original one that I had seen, where it was a psycho. And I knew it was going to happen because as soon as the guy, so essentially the guy is communicating with them through the comms, and he sends them down more air, and he tells them that the reason he hadn't given them the air previously is that switching underwater is very dangerous because it could mess with like your carbon dioxide levels, I think, and essentially make you hallucinate and go a little crazy because your brain is all weird now. Yeah. And so as soon as he said that, I was like, okay, so we're about to hallucinate. Something's going to hallucinate.
Because we know that now, and like that's information that's been given to us, so that is what we are going to experience. That's how movies work.
So spoilers for anyone preceding, it is a really good suspenseful film. But just like The Descent, and this one's a little newer, so I feel bad if you get spoiled, so just skip ahead to our finish section, our feelings section. But if you just want to hear, Mandy Moore's character is surviving, and the sister gets attacked by a shark.
Yeah.
And disappears, like, presumably dead. But then at some point she hears her sister after some time, after she has successfully gotten the oxygen to connect to her and is breathing. Yeah. As soon as she starts breathing, the comm comes in.
Yeah.
Which is like, okay, yeah. She's hallucinating. Duh.
Yeah.
Because that's what we just said. Yeah. So the sister essentially says that she had been attacked and is bleeding very badly, but she is out there and that they need to make a break for it. So she does this cool move to untrap her leg because it was stuck underneath. Uh-huh. Does a rescue mission despite her sister just exuding blood.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Everywhere. And there's sharks everywhere. But they have a flare, which is enough to spook a shark. All of them.
Those scenes were terrifying, though, because, like, you see the sharks, like, trying to, like, come at you and bite you, and then, like, you with the flares. And it's like, you don't even see them. It's just, until like, wherever the flare.
Yeah, and you're just terrified. And then it was like they're trying to swim up, and they're counting, because it's 47 meters down, and then they go up to 30, whatever. And the guy is like, you need to stop, and you need to wait there for 5 minutes while your body gets adjusted to the pressure, or the different pressure. And then they're just, like, chilling there for 5 minutes. It's like the longest 5 minutes ever because the sharks are coming at them, and they drop one flare. It's like this crazy rescue mission. They finally make it to the top, and they break the surface, and they're trying to get to the boat. They throw them the little buoys and stuff, and then the shark gets them and is like eating them. The girl, Mandy's character, is like torn up. Her leg's all torn up, but she
gouges its eye.
Yeah, she gouges the shark's eye out, which everyone knows you're supposed to do. You're supposed to punch them in the nose and poke out their eye to disorient them. Yep. And then she ends up, and they're both bleeding from the legs, and they're on the boat and like hugging each other. And then she wakes up. Or she doesn't really wake up. We wake up, the viewer, and realize that she is underwater still.
And her leg is still trapped, and she's just hallucinating a whole bunch, and the National Guard, or the
Coast Guard.
Coast Guard is coming, and they're rescuing her. Mm-hmm. Which also just like, did they just have shark repellent?
I'm sure they're the Coast Guard. I'm sure they have a way to do that.
It's really interesting to me. I just don't understand how it works. Because I'm just like, they're just swimming around like no big deal.
I just thought it'd be cool to be in the Coast Guard.
Nah.
I'm just not strong enough.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just weird to me, though. I was just like, they're just swimming like no shark could ever get them. Mm-hmm. We got shark repellent. We were swimming all around. We were letting the sharks.
The thing is that sharks aren't just like in there to like murder you. That's not what their job is. They don't care.
No, I know, but it's like they're like food. Cool. I don't know. They attacked the sister.
Yeah, I just think...
And she's bleeding, the other one, so
yeah, like... I think they're fine. I think they probably have their own way to do it, because they're Coast Guards. And sharks aren't just like, oh, let me... Like, if there's more of the people, that's a threat. They're not...
Yeah, they're not trying to, like,
start a fight, a turf war. Yeah. So... And they're not really, like, friends with each other.
Yeah.
They're all kind of for themselves. But, yeah, she does get rescued. But at what cost? Honestly, her sister's dead. Yeah. Not her sister's fault, but also her fault, because they should have just not been there.
Yeah, it's just like really upsetting and stressful and crazy, and I would never go in the ocean ever again in the history of life. And I already feel that way about now, and I've never experienced such a thing, but it was very scary.
Feelings. Yeah, feelings. Yeah, I said feelings. Let's talk about feelings. Okay. And all that spooky stuff. I love spooky stuff.
Okay, so if you like it, it's just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, swimming, swimming. What do we do? We swim. Okay. And if you don't like it, it's the Kraken's art collection.
If you want to be a part of that, just hang on out in the ocean. You'll be assembled like art.
So I really like that fact. It's so fun. So, Kat, for the topic of isolation under and on top of water.
Nah. Kraken stuff. Kraken's art collection. I'm not trying to... No. Nope. Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm not about being under... Like, I'm not about being isolated. I don't agree
for the
with
whole
that.
thing.
Yeah.
I'm a hard no.
Yeah. For me, it's like, I still do think I would take up scuba diving were I in an environment that there was ocean. I would do it. I would totally get my scuba license. It's several classes and much money, but I think it would be fun. But a lot of the people that I love hate the ocean. Most of my dearest, darling friends, the people I care about the most, the people I love, are afraid of the ocean. And I get it.
And I would be upset with you. I'd be like, why? Don't go.
Because it's beautiful.
Is it worth dying for?
You're not. Are
you going to leave me behind? Are you going to leave me here in this world that is already so lonely and terrible and dark and sad, and you're going to leave me here because you're going to go do fish?
Yes, I'm going to go do fish. That's my job.
No, it's not.
Many people scuba dive and do not die.
Well,
I just told you two stories. One was from 1961, the other from 1998. Think of how far that is.
I bet you I can find recent ones. The flesh-eating bacteria one's recent.
Yeah. Well, if I have a scuba suit, they're not eating me. They're not eating flesh if they can't see the flesh. That's all I'm saying.
Some of your flesh is out. Your face flesh is out.
I'm not saying let's go to... And I really don't see the point of really discovering what's down there. Like, I don't really see... Like, I don't understand why things do survive down there. Like, I don't understand what their purpose is and what they're doing. Like, I understand space exploration because we're messing up this place, so we're going to need a place to go. The ocean is never going to be that place.
Oh,
Underneath
I agree.
the water is never going to be where we end up. We're not going to be BioShock. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
We're going to go to space at the very least. Like, so, and that makes sense. And if there's going to be an attack, it's going to come from space. Right?
Oh, yeah. And it's also, it's like there's, for some reason, I mean, we have figured out how to go out into space with like machines, but we have not really figured out fully how to, like, as humans, go underwater.
Yeah, that
in
far.
such a way.
And I don't think it's so much that we can't figure it out. It's that no one has found a real necessity to like create research for that. Like, there's not a need enough for us to really delegate science to find out how to be underwater for that long or that deep.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's very interesting things that are down there, things that clone themselves, things that electrocute things that maybe, you know, might have things inside of them that could help with curing diseases or make diseases.
Yeah.
You know, we don't know what's down there, so we don't know if there are answers to like some of the things, like if there are cures.
Yeah.
For things or ways to preserve human life so that we live longer.
Sure, but I don't think people need to be going down there to do it.
Yeah, I'm just saying we don't know. That's all.
I agree that it's Kraken's.
I don't need to be down there.
Art collection.
Someone else wants to do it, that's fine with me. But I'm not trying.
Yeah. How about the film 47 Meters Down?
I thought it was a good film, so just keep swimming. But did I like it? No.
Yeah.
I was upset.
I thought it was okay. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah,
for
I agree
a
with
movie
that.
that's just like you're in a shark cage or whatever. I liked its ups and downs. They seemed to come a little naturally. I think it was a little silly in like the circumstances that were happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what? I enjoyed it. Even knowing that there was going to be a twist, I still enjoyed
Finding out what the twist
experiencing the
is,
twist. Yeah. And like I tell that it did scare me when she like it wasn't until she was like out there in the middle with the flashlight and like was looking around and was like, I don't know where I came from. And it was like at that moment I was like, I totally would not have thought about it either. And it would have took me being out there in the middle waving around my flashlight to be like, oh my God, I should have like kept like control and knowledge of where I had come from. Like it would not have dawned on me until it was too late. And like that sinking feeling of being like, oh, I messed up.
10 people die a day of drowning in the United States from oceans.
10?
Yes.
That's it?
Per day, yes.
Per day?
Yep.
Do you
That's
know how
what
many
it says.
people are in the United States?
I'm just saying
like
that's what it
nothing.
said. That's per day, though. It's a lot per day.
It's not relatively.
Per year, it's a bunch.
Florida's a peninsula. It is surrounded by water. Hawaii is surrounded by water. It's an island, and we only get 10 a day. That's wild. That's crazy.
That's what the internet said.
That convinces me that everything is fine. If it's just 10 a day, that's wild. That's crazy. That, to me, feels like it is nearly impossible to drown. Well, what I say is that I don't think it's as scary as it could be. Just like don't put yourself into situations where you're going to get lost out at sea or lost under sea. Like, don't do that. But you could definitely go out swimming. You can definitely go on a boat. You could definitely just hang out. So stay tuned. The Isolation series, we still got 3 more episodes in it. We still are going to explore some more places where it's bad to be alone or stuck without resources because we live in the world where it's convenient enough that we don't need that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So don't get married. They'll eat your kids. They'll eat your kids.
Yeah.
Let's crack a whackin'. That's what it should have been called. Because it's a crack. It's a
I
crackin'.
do get it. It's puns.